Good morning, everybody. Well, today and it's rainy day today, I'm going to make a chocolate pudding cake. We used to call it icebox cake. My grandma Bessie taught me how to make it. She used to make 6 layers, 3 layers of vanilla, 3 layers of chocolate. But that, back in those days, everything was natural. She even made her graham crackers from scratch, folks. I'm going to come up with a recipe and show you how to do it later. I'm going to see if I can dig it up out of Google and see if I can give you the recipe for homemade graham crackers. I'm not sure. So what I want to do now is I'm going to add in 2 cups of milk. We're going to start the vanilla and the chocolate. Her icebox cake. We call it icebox cake, but it's also called chocolate pudding cake, folks. It's fantastic, folks. Honestly, it's absolutely fantastic. Now, you don't want to overcook this and burn it. Here we go. Okay, now, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up a box of chocolate pudding. She used Mighty Fine chocolate pudding, folks. And I'm telling you, folks, it's fantastic, folks. But do not put it on high heat, folks. The best you can do is put it on a medium heat. Here we go. I'm putting the chocolate pudding into the milk right now. But when she made it, folks, it was natural and it was fantastic, folks. Absolutely fantastic. And you have to chill it for many hours, folks. All right, let me mix this together so we don't end up with a powder. Put this on also. Here we go. It's got to be thick, but you don't want to burn it. So try to keep the heat medium, I would say. Vanilla as well. All her stuff is naturally made, folks. Keep this in mind. You know, I was very little when I learned how to make chocolate pudding cake. Believe it or not, folks, I was around 6 years old. And one time I went up and I asked her as a 6-year-old, I love this pudding cake. How do you make it? She goes, it's called icebox cake. I said, okay. And she told me how to do it. And even a 6-year-old can do this. Of course, you got to have supervision from your mommy and daddy, obviously. Here we go. Now, we have to wait till everything gets done, folks. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to show you. Let me just mix the vanilla in, okay? All right, I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? I'm back. Okay, sometimes, folks, no matter what you do, a little bit could burn on the bottom of the pan. You can't help it. Mix it together. All right, this looks really good. Now, I'm going to recommend, folks, if you can, chill this at least 8 to 12 hours. I'm not kidding, because you really get it. You want the pudding to get cold and thicken. Here we go. I'm adding in the vanilla pudding on the bottom. I always would recommend put the vanilla on the bottom. There we go. You want to get everything out. But yeah, I always recommend, if you can, keep the old family recipes with you, folks, okay? Don't let it die with them. Because once the recipe goes with them, you can never replace that recipe. You know that. Now, let's get this. All right, now I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is the vanilla. Look how beautiful that is, folks. Fantastic. Now, Grandma Bessie made 6 layers of chocolate. I call it icebox cake. I really don't want to change the name, but she gave it. She had 6 layers. I don't know how she did it. She had a fantastic ice cold cake pan on top of it, folks. Here we go. But I always recommend, if you can, I have a family tree, for example. I'm trying also to save those recipes, folks, because I'm telling you something. Once the recipes die with them, that's it. You can never replace that recipe. You know that. You can try to make it as close as possible. It's not the same, you know. I always say those food tasted so much better in the olden days. I don't know why. Okay. Now, I put a layer of graham crackers on here. I don't want to spoil it because it's very loose right now. Now, the next thing I have to do is add my chocolate pudding, because you can't have a chocolate pudding cake without the chocolate pudding. And you have to form a skin, so be careful of that. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, folks, it smells just like the olden days. Let me tell you something. I remember those good old days like it was yesterday. Here we go. Yeah, I was a little girl when we used to go to Grandma Bessie's house every Sunday night. I am not kidding you. It was a tradition, and I miss those good old days. But I'm working on this family tree post. I even found a photo of her old apartment. She lived in an apartment. I think her whole life she mostly lived in an apartment in Union, but hey, she was happy, so, you know, I can't say anything about that. And here we have I gotta be careful with this. Here we have a delicious chocolate pudding cake. In other words, it's actually called an icebox cake. She called it an icebox cake, so we're going to say icebox cake. Here we have a delicious icebox cake from Deborah's Home Country Kitchen. Have a great day.